So funny I forgot to laugh. Oh my god, this episode from Arthur sucks. I will tell you why this episode sucks in my opinion. It all started when Sue Ellen unveils her new sweater on a cold day at school for the first time. For some reason, Arthur cannot help joking about the sweater, saying that it makes Sue Ellen look like a giant sheepdog. Sue Ellen finds the joke funny, followed by the rest of Arthur's friends, who think the joke is funny, too. However, although it is simply slight, mild teasing at first, Arthur can't seem to let it go. He frequently makes that same joke on Sue Ellen, using one sheepdog joke after another, back and forth. And even though Buster, Francine, Muffy and the others have stopped laughing, what would not stop are the funny jokes created by Arthur, which actually become hurtful as the episode progresses. Arthur even draws a picture of Sue Ellen's head on a sheepdog's body, with the words Happy Sheepdog Appreciation Day, and tapes it to her locker. Sue Ellen reacts with anger upon seeing the insulting drawing, implying that the joke transitions from funny to hurtful. As Binky looks at the drawing as well, he, too, thinks that the drawing is offensive, claiming that the sheepdog does not even look a bit like Sue Ellen, prompting him to shove the drawing into Arthur's chest and storm off. Later, as class is dismissed for the day, Arthur is surprised when Mr. Ratburn makes him stay behind. Mr. Ratburn tells Arthur that he is actually being a bully to Sue Ellen because he is continually teasing her even after she told him to stop. Then, he is forced to write Sue Ellen an apology letter, and is not happy about the situation at all, because he doesn't believe what he did was bullying and he is worried that he'll probably fail the history test. To make matters worse, the letter turns out to be extremely backhanded and it makes Sue Ellen look like it is her fault because Arthur mentioned that he is sorry for her overreacting manner. After Francine, Muffy and Buster read Arthur's letter, they all agree to stop talking to Arthur until he gives Sue Ellen a real apology. At lunch, Arthur is wondering why his friends are not speaking to him. Buster accidentally speaks to him, but then stays quiet again and writes on a piece of paper about Arthur's letter to Sue Ellen. Arthur doesn't understand it, thinking he did a good job with the letter. Muffy and Francine agree to go sit at another table because they think he has become a bully and leave. Arthur still doesn't get it until Buster finally says that his letter to Sue Ellen was terrible because Arthur sounded like he wasn't sorry at all and also leaves the table, which shocks Arthur. Afterwards, Arthur tries explaining himself to Sue Ellen again, but he is unable to keep himself from thinking that she overreacted. Later, Arthur is shown at home, watching TV. After a few minutes, he turns it off and calls Buster, who tries his best to keep from talking to Arthur. Arthur irritably states that Buster literally just said hello, but Buster only makes things worse by cruelly imitating a voicemail, and by the time he says bye, he hangs up, much to Arthur's frustration. That night, Arthur photoshops a picture of a sheepdog's head onto Sue Ellen's body and then emails it to her. However, he appears to feel a pang of remorse after doing so. When Sue Ellen sees the picture on her computer, she cries, and we go back to where the episode started, with her writing in the diary. Sue Ellen puts her sweater in a bag and goes to talk to her mother about something important, which is most likely Arthur's teasing. The next day, Sue Ellen donates her yak sweater to the school's clothing drive. Arthur tries owing her an apology once again, but she still doesn't think that he really means it, replying, "You thought I overreacted." "I know, you've told me," and turns her back on him. Later at lunch, not seeing how upset he is, Francine and Muffy angrily confront Arthur, telling him that Sue Ellen wants to switch classes, due to not wanting to be continuously picked on with the sheepdog insults. Although Arthur really wants to apologize, instead of being encouraging, Muffy says in a very discouraging tone, "But haven't you done enough damage already?" Arthur tries to catch Sue Ellen before she goes home, but Sue Ellen angrily slams the car door as the car drives off. Arthur then goes back to the clothing drive and is surprised to see that it is still there. He takes it from the clothing bin, and as he does so, he starts reminiscing about all of his repeated teasing and finally realizes that he has been a bully, how much it was bothering her and that it isn't funny anymore, and possibly wishes that Sue Ellen and his friends warned him that if he didn't stop his joke, she was going to want to switch classes. The next morning at the school entrance, Arthur is anxiously waiting for Sue Ellen. He finally makes a heartfelt and sincere apology, confessing that, and possibly explaining that he had realized, she didn't overreact and that he has been a bully. He begs her not to switch classes because, among other things, he doesn't want to lose one of his best friends. Then, Arthur reveals that he is wearing Sue Ellen's yak sweater now and he vows to do so for the rest of the year, and never pick on her again if she forgives him. Sue Ellen accepts, but adds that she will take her sweater back. Arthur admits the sweater is the warmest thing he's ever worn. Sue Ellen adds, "And soft, right?" Sue Ellen then jokingly adds that it makes him look like a mouse. Squeak, squeak. And that's how the episode goes. Whatever you do, don't watch it, it's a waste of time. Screw So Funny I Forgot to Laugh, and screw DW's Very Bad Mood, the world record. An episode from Arthur is so many times better than So Funny I Forgot to Laugh. End of rant.